Welcome back to Crypto Atlas, your daily source for crypto whale alerts, crypto market news, and DeFi gems. Today we're tracking a pretty major sequence of moves surrounding Ethereum, and it's got a lot of people in the market paying attention. We've got a massive 15,000 Ethereum whale transfer from Coinbase Institutional, the Ethereum Foundation quietly deploying millions into new DeFi strategies, and maybe the biggest signal of all, institutional money flowing back into Ethereum ETFs after last week's redemptions. So if you've been wondering whether smart money is gearing back up for an Ethereum run, this episode might give you your answer. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the on-chain whale alert. A whopping 15,000 Ethereum worth roughly $59.9 million just moved from Coinbase Institutional to an unknown wallet. That's not your average retail transfer. That is serious capital moving quietly off a regulated exchange. Now, when funds move off Coinbase Institutional, it usually points to one of three things: either institutional clients moving to self-custody, whales preparing for DeFi deployment, or large-scale over-the-counter settlement. And the fact that this came from Coinbase Institutional, not retail, adds weight to the idea that it's professional money. If this were just a random cold storage shuffle, you'd expect it to go to a tagged Coinbase wallet or a known custodian. But this one went to a fresh address. No prior transactions, no ties. That kind of stealth move often comes before something strategic. So think DeFi farming, governance participation, or even private investment allocations. And timing matters. This transaction hit right as the Ethereum Foundation itself is expanding its on-chain treasury management into the DeFi space. So it's not wild to wonder, are whales mirroring what the foundation's doing? So now, here's where it gets interesting. The Ethereum Foundation just announced that it's deploying 2,400 Ethereum, which is around $9.6 million, and another $6 million in stablecoins into a yield-bearing vault on Morpho, one of Ethereum's most promising decentralized lending protocols. So Morpho is kind of a hybrid between Compound and Aave, but it's optimized for efficiency. It pairs lenders and borrowers directly to boost yields. And the foundation specifically praised Morpho's open source ethos, noting that both Morpho Vault 2 and Morpho Blue version 1 were released under a fully open GPL 2.0 license. So the translation for that, they're not just chasing yield, they're supporting open, permissionless innovation that aligns with Ethereum's core philosophy. And the foundation's treasury is massive. Over $820 million, with $735 million of that in Ethereum. And earlier this year, they took heat for occasionally selling Ethereum to fund operations, but now instead of just cashing out to cover expenses, they're actively putting Ethereum to work inside the DeFi ecosystem. And that's a big shift from liquidating to leveraging. They've also been deploying millions into Compound and Spark, the lending protocol tied to MakerDAO's ecosystem. So in essence, they're showing that DeFi isn't just for traders anymore. It's becoming part of the institutional playbook. This move also comes after Coinbase surpassed $1 billion in Bitcoin-backed loans through Morpho. That's right, even Coinbase is using this protocol for on-chain credit. So you've got Coinbase Institutional moving Ethereum out, the Ethereum Foundation deepening its Morpho exposure, and whales quietly repositioning capital. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. Now let's go ahead and zoom out and talk about ETFs, because the on-chain data and ETF inflows are telling the same story. According to Soso Value, Ethereum ETFs are back in accumulation mode. After 3 days of redemptions last week, totaling about $611 million in outflows, we're now seeing hundreds of millions flow back in. And leading the pack is Fidelity's FETH, with a massive $154.6 million in new inflows. Grayscale's Ethereum fund followed with $34.7 million, and Bitwise's ETH added another $13 million. In total, Ethereum ETFs now hold $28 billion in assets under management, representing roughly 5.6% of Ethereum's total market cap. That's huge, and it's growing again. You compare that to Bitcoin ETFs, where we saw mixed sentiment. Fidelity's Bitcoin fund pulled in $132 million, but BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust actually saw $30 million in redemptions. So while Bitcoin's inflows are leveling out, Ethereum's are heating back up. It's also worth noting that the rebound comes during a week when more than $20 billion in leveraged positions got liquidated across exchanges. In other words, even after one of the most volatile stretches in recent months, institutions are still buying Ethereum exposure. That kind of conviction is telling. Ivo Georgiev, CEO of Ambire, put it best: institutional confidence never really faded. And the data backs it up. CoinShares reports over $3.1 billion in inflows last week alone across all crypto investment products. So what does this all add up to? You've got a $60 million Ethereum whale transfer off Coinbase Institutional, the Ethereum Foundation integrating directly with DeFi yield protocols, and Ethereum inflows surging back towards pre-outflow levels. That is a trifecta of institutional alignment, on-chain, off-chain, and through regulated products. It paints a picture of quiet accumulation and strategic repositioning, not panic or retreat. And Ethereum's price is reflecting that confidence too. The Ethereum Foundation says that new data confirms Ethereum is the #1 ecosystem for new developers in 2025. And you can see that this is quite a bit more than that of Solana, which comes in at #2, and then Bitcoin at #3. Crypto Bullet posts over on Twitter, Ethereum 2025 versus Bitcoin 2024, exactly the same pattern. Ethereum, they believe, could go to $6,000 to $7,000 this year. And just taking a quick look at Ethereum, we can see that it is slightly below $4,000 while I'm recording the video. So we closed out red on the day yesterday, currently in the red as well. There is a level right around $3,800 on that Fibonacci retracement that a lot of eyes are going to be watching. And then for the RSI, it's still in a very comfortable zone. There's a lot of room for this to potentially move volume-wise. And that's what I've got for you in this video. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to hit subscribe. And thank you so much to my Patreon supporters, as well as my YouTube members. God bless you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode.